2024 has been a banner year for the King of the Monsters. The MonsterVerse: The New Empire recently released, and Godzilla Minus One received an Academy Award.
Godzilla figures and toys are in retail stores and on the internet, while the official Godzilla website is selling merchandise out of Japan. It is a great time to be a Godzilla fan.
However, if you were a child growing up in the 1980s through the 1990s like we were, this was just not the case.
There is no denying the international appeal and collaborations during the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, but a recent article we read shed some light on what we experienced and what can be considered the dark times of Godzilla fandom.
In the recent G-Fan magazine, spring of 2024, the article Godzilla's Moment by Bill Bissone talks about how Godzilla is back on top in a new golden age, and we couldn't agree more.
However, Bill states that if you were born in the early 1980s, you experienced the lowest points of Godzilladom and giant monster fandom in general. Older Godzilla fans either remembered the Showa era or got to see Godzilla 1985 in theaters.
Younger Godzilla fans missed the leanest years and came of age when Godzilla was having something of a comeback in the later 90s. But if you were born when the author was, you were born too late to have seen the Showa series on the big screen
and were too young for Godzilla 1985. You missed the 70s drive-in era and Kong resurgence. Even Harryhausen had retired. Godzilla films have become relegated to increasingly rare broadcast TV appearances.
With all honesty, this is true. After the terror of Mechagodzilla, Godzilla had a dry spell of serious popularity in the United States.
From 1976 on, Jaws invented the summer blockbuster, and Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Superman took flight.
In 1985 specifically, Back to the Future, Rambo, and Rocky IV were lighting up the box office. Cult classics like The Goonies, The Last Dragon, and Weird Science created their own fandoms.
However, Godzilla 1985, the edited version of The Return of Godzilla, mustered just over $4 million and ranked 137 at the domestic box office, and there was nothing Dr. Pepper could do to help it.
On a personal note, in August of that year, we happened to go to one movie theater in our area where it happened to be playing, and when we went to the movies with our aunt, it was Disney's The Black Cauldron or bust.
Godzilla just did not have the star power anymore. It wouldn't be until the 1998 TriStar American Godzilla release that we would see another iteration of a creature called Godzilla in a wide theater release.
Your best bet was Saturday afternoon monster TV shows. I'm talking about Super Scary Saturdays with Grandpa on the TBS Superstation.
Or Morgus the Magnificent on WPIX-11, the crazy scientist who was a part of the higher order and attempted to help mankind while making a few bucks on the side.
Busan's article also makes mention of Monster Vision on TNT from the 1990s to the early 2000s. These hosts and other station programming would show old horror and monster flicks throughout the weekend.
However, these campaigns all had one thing in common. They treated Godzilla and these other films as B-rated schlock from a bygone era, in no comparison to the special effect masterpieces that were gracing the silver screen.
Also, it was never a guarantee to see a Godzilla film, especially some of the harder ones, like King Kong vs. Godzilla or Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, as it was called at the time. As the article states as well, VHS tapes were your best bet, and mostly consisted of Showa films like Godzilla vs. Monster Zero or the many iterations of Godzilla vs. Megalon.
But there was a glimpse of hope, something that became part of our personal Godzilla moment.
It was the week of June 6th, 1993. Jurassic Park was getting ready to release, and we were finally going to get our first taste of dinosaurs on the big screen.
However, there are more important things to take care of, like checking the back section of our latest TV guide. This was a weekly tradition to see if there were any cool movies coming out that week.
Especially another Godzilla or a monster movie showing that weekend. However, our eyes caught something that we had never seen before and that we would never see again.
Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989. Japan's reptilian wonder rises again to confront a giant mutant plant. Thursday, 6:15 p.m. on Cinemax?
Godzilla vs. Biollante? What was this movie? And what did it mean that it came out in 1989, a few years after the latest Godzilla film, Godzilla 1985?
And what was this about? Thursday at 6:15 on Cinemax? Not on a Saturday afternoon? Or on a regular cable station? Is this really a new Godzilla movie we have never seen before? I don't remember this coming out in the movies.
We had to investigate it, while we were simply celebrating as well. There was a new Godzilla movie. Of course, we had to find someone who had Cinemax.
We only had basic cable at the time, and channels like HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax were premiere channels.
Ironically, the same kind and wonderful aunt that had taken us to see The Black Cauldron in 1985 made us a wonderful dinner, and she allowed us to sit down and record this brand new and foreign Godzilla film for the very first time, June 10th, 1993 at 6:15 p.m. on Cinemax.
And oh yeah, it was awesome!
Amen.
Jurassic Park may have been the movie of the summer, but Godzilla vs. Biollante became our movie of the year.
Bill Bassan's article references that it aired on HBO only once.
The official Godzilla Compendium, by J.D. Lees, states 1 year after its release in Japan, it came to America via video and cable television, with a U.S. release in September of 1992 by HBO and Miramax.
Never again did we see Godzilla vs. Biollante listed in a TV guide, nor at a VHS in a retail store or video rental shop.
The Showa movies continue to exist, however, Godzilla vs. Biollante was a snapshot in history.
But to tell you the truth, it didn't matter. This viewing on June 10th, 1993, started a revival that Godzilla was still alive and there must be more to experience out there.
This was the first time that we had experienced a new Godzilla movie released in the United States, and we could call it our own.
Even though it was 4 years removed from its Japanese release, but releasing in 1993, it was a fresh and serious film.
We were also not children, searching the back alleys of Saturday afternoons. This was more than a retelling of the original Godzilla, a brand new enemy,
New weapons,
new characters,
and an awesome Godzilla design. But
and above all, a continuation of the series.
Thanks to some God-inspired events, we were soon able to discover that there were bootleg versions of the continuing Heisei series.
Continuing our exploration into this new universe.
That is until these movies were finally released stateside, thanks in part to that TriStar release that happened in 1998.
Today, we are experiencing Godzilla's 70th anniversary. We would also like to commemorate the 31st anniversary of our Godzilla G-Day, June 10th, 2024.
Where a new Godzilla premiered to us in the United States.
Like previous years, we will take out the TV guide,
Put on a copy of our film.
and enjoy what has become one of our favorite Godzilla kaiju films.
So tell us, let us know in the comments, what was your special Godzilla moment? Do you have your own G-Day or special memory where the world of Godzilla really opened up for you, or when you discovered you were not alone in your love of kaiju films?
Thanks for taking this time to celebrate our Godzilla Day, and we hope you enjoy yours too. This is Zach,
And John Paul, signing off.